And now I'm live on YouTube and I'm back on IG. All right. So, kind of, I'm reiterating kind of about I already told my IG peeps over there, but so today I had a different topic today. I actually wanted to talk about like the mistakes that personally I have made when I was a newer coach, and then what I have also seen other new coaches make. So I kind of wanted to talk about that, but I'll talk about it in the next time I go live. But today I wanted to talk to you all about a podcast that I listened to this morning. If you have not heard of Donni Wiggins, she is a business coach as well, a very successful business coach. She has several podcasts. Her personal podcast is called Full Transparency. And then she has another podcast called Social Proof, and that's with David Shands. So I want to talk to you about the one on Full Transparency. It's her latest one, and it was more of like a Q&A session, and she's answering questions from her IG live. And but it's parts of that of the podcast that I really want to talk about, and it resonated with me. But side note, I promise I'm not looking like anywhere else. I'm looking at the screen, but my webcam is up there, so I might look funny, when it's a replay. But maybe I got to figure out how to lower my webcam. But anyways, so like I said, she was answering questions from on her Instagram live. And so one of the questions that she was answering was, what are the things that you should avoid when trying to find a business coach? What should you look out for when looking for a business coach? And so honestly, I took what I'm going to get into kind of some of the things she talked about, but um, I resonated with it a lot because I see my future self kind of having these same principles essentially and applying it into my business. Um, and so a couple of things she said. So one of the things she said though was, when you find a business coach, you should make sure that their core values align right with yours. And that might sound like simple to you, but to me, I honestly didn't think about that, right? Like I think when as I coach, and everything like that, I only look more at the business side of things versus their whole entire character. And she gave this example where she was, coaching someone, and essentially they were married, and they went, Donnie Wiggins and the husband had some type of business trip that they went on, and he introduced Donnie Wiggins to another woman. And but that other woman was not on his team or anything like that. And it kind of put her in a not the best situation, right? Because she can tell that that woman, was not his wife, was more than what it should be. And so, which and then also what made it even worse, she was saying that the the husband's brand, it was all around being a family man. And so that is one of the reasons why she kind of was off guard, caught off guard, most of the, mainly. But anyways, but the point what I'm trying to make here is that when she was what she was saying though was, like those are some of like the core values, right? Where it's just like, I don't agree with that. Like that, if that's what you do on your own time, that's fine. But don't put me involved in that. And it honestly got me thinking about like how people how people are outside of business that really plays a part into how they run their business, right? And I honestly didn't think too deeply about being more selective on the people who I work with. I think when you're like in the beginning stages of your business, it's like you pretty much want to work once you are, even if you get clear on your audience and your niche and all of that, you will still take, pretty much anybody, right? Because you are just growing your business and all of that. And as I hear more stories about people that have established businesses, other business coaches that have more established businesses, I am hearing more and more about how they have like applications, where you have to apply to work with them, right? And their whoever their team, they review the application, whatever the case may be, and they are like really selective, right? They're reviewing your application, seeing if it makes sense, right? Because Donnie Wiggins, I mean, in passing, she said that if, she does not want to work with someone that she knows is doesn't have like the right mindset, right? That she's looking for in a mentee, essentially. Um, and so, anyways, it really just had me thinking like should that be established, that type of this isn't a word, but selectivity, should that be established more so in the beginning stages of your business, so that as you grow to six figures, seven figures, whatever the case may be, as you are growing, you don't need to introduce that process later on when you already have it in place. So that definitely got the wheels turning. Like trying to see if I like an application, if that even makes sense, right? And maybe not, but this is just part of what I enjoy, like listening to other established coaches and understanding what their processes are, and not just understanding the process, right? But just the why behind the process, and why they do what they do, and how they have a team of running and helping their business. So yeah, that's why, if you have not, I do encourage, if you have not listened to Donnie Wiggins podcast at all, even the Social Proof podcast, I listen to both of them faithfully. I encourage you to check them out. Seriously, good information. I mean, it's Donnie Wiggins is just like a straight I butcher words all the time, so don't judge me. Straight shooter. And so she does not sugarcoat anything. And so that's what I like about her. So yeah, so that's one of the things, right? That's part of her answer on what, when you pick a coach, make sure that their core values align. Another thing I thought about, she made a comment in her podcast about she never want her clients or potential clients to essentially like spend their last dollar on trying to get her program, trying to buy her program to work with her one-on-one. And this is more so just me talking about her podcast. Well, obviously I am talking about her podcast, but just some thought that I had in passing, because I never heard another coach really care care that much about the other person that is spending money on their program. And so she made a comment about how she, like, yeah, she doesn't want anyone to spend her last. And so she said that it was one situation where she found out much later that someone skipped out on paying their mortgage because they wanted to, they paid for her program. And so she was saying how, yes, she would never recommend, um if her program, if you can't really afford it. Like, granted, coaching, you there are moments where if you want something, if you want to take your business to the next level, you have to invest in yourself and your business. And then, of course, you have to step outside of your comfort zone, right? It's not going to be comfortable. It's meant to stretch you a little bit. However, if you have a whole family, and you are risking, a home for your family and all that, then she was saying how it's just not worth it, right? You shouldn't have to, you don't need to invest in a $15,000 course when, you only have $15,000 to your name, right? There are other coaches out there that fit your budget, essentially. Yeah. And so, but for, I guess, my takeaway, my main point here is what I'm trying to say is that I just never really heard another coach be that thoughtful about someone else's pockets when it comes to them paying for something of theirs, right? And it had me thinking about a situation where, when I first started business back in 2017, I got into Amazon FBA, and there was it wasn't a course, but it was essentially like it was a I don't know what it was called back then, but they essentially helped like set up the LLC. I mean, they pretty much set up everything from the beginning, and guided me on how to create an Amazon FBA store, and then also getting started selling products. And so that costed $25,000, right? And I put all of that on credit cards, right? And so in hindsight, right, I do not recommend anyone to put that amount of money on a credit card unless you just know that you can pay it off within, a couple of months, maybe, right? Because of that, that interest adds up. But anyways, luckily I did pay it off fairly quickly. However, um that is something that within my core values, right? I would not even suggest anyone, putting, my high ticket offer on like multiple credit cards. So it really honestly, like, it really showed me that, like, listening to her podcast, it just showed me how there are still good people out there, right, to do business with. And even like the gurus that maybe might sometimes appear as money hungry. And I'm not saying that she appears that way. I'm not saying that at all. Um, but anyways, it may appear that some of them are money hungry, but they're good. But there are still good people out there, and not looking out for just their dollars like that goes into their pocket, right? They are also caring about the other individual as well. So yeah, I really just wanted to come on here and really talk about the things that I learned and how I can apply it to my own business. And honestly, to me, like, I think sometimes listening to all these people that I listen to on YouTube University, on whatever, on school and Facebook, all these platforms. Sometimes you can get lost into, well, let me speak for myself. I can get lost into how I should operate my business, because you see that one person runs it this way, the other person runs it this way, and you're just trying to figure out, how, how I should have my business be ran. And ultimately, based off of listening to that podcast, I ultimately want my business to be authentic to me. I want to be authentic. I want to keep it real. I'm not portraying to be someone I'm not. And honestly, I think that's the best way to go, right? I think at one point in time, people got away with being someone they're not. And I think eventually it probably caught up to them. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. It's just my assumption, and that I'm sure has happened at some point in time. And so for me, as I'm building my business, I definitely want to be true to who I am. I know who I am. I am a child of God, right? And I operate like that. And I treat other people as children of God, right? Um, yeah, I mean, it's a journey. I know that not all money is good money. And even every client isn't the best to work with. But I think as I continue to grow as an individual, my business continues to grow, it will evolve into definitely something that I am happy about, that's true within, that lives within my purpose, right? Which I am. I'm living my purpose right now. I mean, having the opportunity to just share what I know, and just being a light, a very, very small light in someone else's life. I think that is a blessing right then and there, that I don't take lightly. And um, it just really got me thinking about who I want to be as a coach. And I think it's looking bright. I think I was definitely meant to listen to that podcast. Um, and I was meant to apply it, right? I think sometimes I can get caught up with like listening to so much and reading so much that I don't necessarily apply it all. And obviously, you can take in as much information, but if it's not applied knowledge, then it's just nothing, right? But that's all part of growth. Just focusing on getting 1% better every single day. But anyways, I know today's topic was a bit different. I'll definitely have a topic for tomorrow. I'm definitely going to go live on Thanksgiving. I'm going to keep this up daily lives. Um, but I hope everyone have a great Thanksgiving, a great day with family. Even for those that might not have the best time around the holidays, it may bring sadness, but remember that I am praying for you. Um, I wish you, well, and I'm definitely sending positive vibes and all the hugs and all of that, right? I'm an empath, so I do carry all of that on me when I do hear stories like that, and so my heart goes out to you. But I will close out this live, and I will definitely talk to you tomorrow. Peace.